Some of the most effective disguises are the ones that are right out in the open. Take this aircraft. It looks like a jet you'd probably fly on for a vacation, right? But its real job, well, that's one of the most critical missions in modern warfare, hunting the ultimate stealth weapon. So today, we're diving into the story of the P-8A Poseidon.
Yeah, just take a good look at this thing. What you're looking at is, believe it or not, a militarized Boeing 737. Underneath that incredibly familiar airliner skin, there's a lethal hunter-killer, an aircraft designed specifically to patrol these enormous stretches of ocean and find threats that are just lurking in the deep.
So that brings up a pretty big question, right? How on earth did this happen? How do you take one of the most popular passenger jets in the world and turn it into the Navy's top spy plane? Well, the answer is this really fascinating mix of clever engineering, smart military strategy, and honestly just sheer necessity.
Okay, so to really understand the P-8, we've got to go back and look at why it was even created in the first place. As technology marched on, it became pretty clear that the world's oceans needed a whole new kind of guardian.
And the core problem, it's actually really simple to say out loud, but it's incredibly difficult to solve. The ocean is just immense, and modern submarines, they are absolute marvels of stealth technology. Trying to find one is like looking for a needle in a haystack, except this is a haystack the size of a planet, and the needle can carry nuclear warheads.
For decades, this job belonged to a legend, the P-3C Orion. You can see that classic turboprop on the left. It was an absolutely brilliant aircraft, a real workhorse. But after so many years of hard service, its airframe was just getting old. The Navy knew they needed a modern, super reliable successor, something that could carry the next generation of advanced military systems. And that's where the Poseidon comes in.
And this is where you can really see the genius of the whole concept. Instead of designing a brand new plane from scratch, which is incredibly expensive and time-consuming, the Navy started with the ultra-reliable Boeing 737. Think about it. It uses the same efficient engines as commercial jets. That means it's not just dependable, but spare parts are basically everywhere, all over the world. It's so much easier to maintain. You're really getting the best of both worlds here. Commercial-grade reliability fused with some seriously cutting-edge military power. All right, so we've covered the why. We know why it was built. Now let's get into the really cool part, how it actually does its job. Let's break down the anatomy of the hunt. Okay, so its primary mission is something called ASW, which stands for anti-submarine warfare. And this is that classic high-stakes game of cat and mouse, tracking and, if it comes to it, neutralizing threats that are operating completely silently way down beneath the waves. But it's not just about what's under the water. The P-8 is also a master of ACE-W, or anti-surface warfare. And that means it's just as capable of going after enemy warships right there on the surface. So it's a genuine dual threat. Now think about this for a second. To hunt for things you literally cannot see, you need some extraordinary senses. And the Poseidon is absolutely packed with some of the most sophisticated surveillance tech ever put on an airplane. We're talking about its eyes and its ears. What's really powerful here isn't just one piece of gear, but how all of its systems work together. It's got this high-tech radar scanning the surface for ships. Then it can drop these things called sonobuoys. They're basically specialized underwater microphones to listen for submarines. Other sensors are sniffing out electronic signals, while another one is providing crystal clear video, whether it's day or night. And the best part? All of this information gets fused together and shared instantly across the entire fleet.
Okay, so finding the threat is one thing, but dealing with it, that's another story entirely. So now let's talk about its teeth, the versatile arsenal that turns this high-tech spy plane into a serious warfighting platform.
And here you have it. Tucked away right inside its belly is an internal weapons bay. This is the secret ingredient that makes the P-8 so formidable. Because from the outside, it just looks like a regular jet. But that bay can open up and unleash a truly devastating payload. And the key word here really is flexibility. It can be loaded up with torpedoes for hunting subs, or it can carry anti-ship missiles to strike surface targets. It can even use old-school depth charges. This means it can be configured for pretty much whatever the mission of the day demands. And it can carry all those weapons a very long way. A typical mission can take this plane over 1,200 nautical miles away from its base. And once it gets there, it can stay on station, just hunting, for 4 hours before it even has to think about turning back. That is a massive area of responsibility for just one single aircraft.
But if you only think of the P-8 as a sub-hunter, you're kind of missing the bigger picture. Its real value, its true strength, lies in its incredible versatility as a multi-mission platform.
So what else can it do? Well, it's basically a flying intelligence hub, just constantly gathering surveillance data. It can be the eyes for an entire naval fleet, spotting targets way over the horizon that ships can't see. And hey, during peacetime, those powerful sensors make it an absolutely ideal platform for search and rescue missions.
I think this quote really sums it all up perfectly. The Poseidon isn't just a plane, it's a critical piece of a much larger network. It's essential for things like sea control, for deterring aggression, and even for protecting vital undersea infrastructure, like the internet cables that pretty much all of us rely on every single day. And look, the P-8's importance isn't just limited to the U.S. Navy. Its incredible capabilities have made it a true global asset. You can think of it like a watchtower that's being shared among key allies all over the world. I mean, you can see its global reach right here. We're talking about the UK, Australia, India, Germany, and more. All of these key allies rely on the Poseidon to patrol their maritime interests. Having this shared platform, it does more than just catch submarines. It strengthens alliances, creating this really powerful networked surveillance grid that stretches across the world's oceans.
So let's kind of wrap this all up with a final thought. The P-8 Poseidon is, without a doubt, a remarkable aircraft that was born from a humble commercial jetliner. But as we look towards the future, a future with rising tensions and more competition on and under the sea, the real question we have to ask ourselves is this: just how vital are these airborne guardians going to be when it comes to keeping the peace?